Welcome once again. We are back discussing the Oncolytics Biotech opportunity in China with partner Adlai Nortye. Andrew Guttaduaro, president of Oncolytics Biotech U.S. and global head of business development, joins us once again to discuss. Andrew, thanks again for being here.
My pleasure. Hello, everybody.
Great to have you here. Once again, excited to dive into some more things about what Oncolytics is working on. We spoke to CEO Matt Coffey and the Chief Medical Officer from Oncolytics, Tom Heineman, about how pelareorep works. But can you talk to us about the opportunity for pelareorep in HR and HER2 breast cancer?
Sure. We're especially excited about our primary target in breast cancer, which is HR positive, HER2 negative breast cancer. And we're excited about it for two reasons. The size of the market, which is huge, and I'll go into that in a minute, and the unmet need, which is critical, and I'll describe that as well. So from the size of the market perspective, keep in mind, at any one point in time, we estimate about 3.6 million women are living with breast cancer in the U.S. Of those, HR positive, HER2 negative breast cancer is the largest, most prevalent subtype, with about 70% of patients actually having that subtype. So we estimate that of that number, the majority of patients, over 2 million, have HR positive breast cancer at any one time, living with it. And we estimate over 100,000, about 114,000 patients actually have metastatic HR positive, HER2 negative disease. So as you can imagine, that's a huge market. And you think maybe, well, 100,000 out of 3.6 million, that doesn't seem like a lot. But keep in mind, products like Ibrance, which are indicated for that 100,000 plus patients, are estimated to generate about $6.5 to $7 billion in treatment revenue this year. So it's a huge market. You don't have to get a lot of those patients in that 114,000 to be looking at huge market potential for us. The other reason we're excited, of course, is big as the market may be, you have to obviously have a value proposition that makes sense clinically. And what's exciting is that we can really transform a lot of lives of patients, because out of those 114,000 right now, there's a lot of great treatments that can extend progression-free survival, but not overall survival. They can't actually extend the patient's lifetime once they become metastatic. And what we're excited about is, if you look at our IND 213 study, we almost doubled survival in those patients by about 10 months. So we are excited that if we can extend survival even by a fraction of those 10 months in a phase 3 trial result, we think we're going to have the product that really transforms how patients are treated when they become metastatic and HR positive, HER2 negative.
Amazing. Okay, great start. IND 213, of course, was the study that garnered so much interest from some of the largest pharma companies in the world, Pfizer and more. But for this interview, I'd like to focus on the opportunity with your partner in China, Adlai Nortye. Tell us how that partnership developed. What was the genesis there?
So the genesis was, as you just mentioned, the IND 213 data. Adlai was looking for a product that could really be accretive to their efforts in China. And I think they were quite impressed with the results of the 213 trial. Their chief medical officer was very bullish on what they saw. And the 213 results, really the potential to double the survival of patients with metastatic HR positive, HER2 negative breast cancer versus the standard of care, which is paclitaxel in China, really excited them. And so that was the genesis for the deal.
Perfect. Okay, really good to know how we started there. So let's talk a little bit about all the opportunity that sits in front of it. How large is the potential opportunity with Adlai?
So we expect that the Adlai opportunity is gigantic. In fact, outside of the U.S., we expect that China will be the single largest market opportunity for pelareorep if the breast cancer registrational trial is successful. China, keep in mind, is not just the second largest pharma market in the world, but it's so rapidly growing that it may very well one day eclipse the U.S. So it's a huge market opportunity and by far the fastest growing market in the world.
Got it. Okay, so we know the frame of scope that we're looking at for how large the partnership can be, but obviously it sounds like the study with Adlai has been picking up steam recently, just looking at the mechanics of this, with the first patient dosed in October and now the dose escalation news in January. What's the significance of the dose escalation, and what are you excited about as this is going forward?
Well, so first of all, maybe to frame it, why are they doing this study at all, right? And the reason is that the Chinese regulatory authorities want to see some data in Chinese patients and make sure that the product is safe and has at least an indication of potential efficacy before they can Adlai can go into a larger trial in China. And so what they did is design what's called a bridging trial. And the bridging trial starts by going through different low doses of pelareorep so that they can evaluate safety first and foremost. So they rapidly recruited the first cohort of 3 patients with the lowest dose of pelareorep. They're now at the 3 times 10 to the 10 dose, which is the same dose that was used in IND 213. And from there, they can look at going into the same dose that we're using in trials like bracelet and in AWARE 1, which is 4.5 to 10 to the 10. So they're making rapid progress towards showing safety in their patient population at the same dose that would be used in a phase 3 trial, which would then allow them to potentially join us in that trial.
Outstanding. Looking forward to seeing that happen. A lot to keep an eye on the Oncolytics opportunity in China with your partner, Adlai Nortye. Andrew de Guttaduaro, President of Oncolytics Biotech and Head of Business Development. Thank you once again for joining us and sharing all of this.
Thank you. My pleasure.